Let's talk about Tuesday. There are 6 games in the NBA, and of course, the big fella, Victor Wembanyama, is out. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and fun fact about me, my mum was the original actor that played the Gobbledoc. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we are available on all platforms. We're also part of the number one sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network, and thank you to you for getting us to number one. And now you're getting me to number one, 100k subs. We already hit 91k, and that was thanks to you guys. Unfortunately, during the course of the last show, we didn't go from 91 up to 100. I thought we might, but we didn't. So we're still trying. We're still trying to get there. Listen on audio as well. That is vitally important. And then subbing and watching the videos is also one of the things that makes you, and I have heard this. I've heard this from a source. When you subscribe on YouTube, it actually makes you more attractive to the opposite sex, or honestly, to whatever sex or gender it is you're attracted to. Your Riz level through the roof. You're there. You're mewing. You're rizzing. You're skibbiting. I don't know what that is. We're talking about Tuesday in the NBA. What is a daily look ahead? That is what this show is. We're talking about the games that are probably going to happen. We assume they're going to happen with 99.9% confidence, but you never know. There's always a snowstorm. There's always something that's going on that might impact that. Let's just talk about those games. We will talk Wembanyama. Don't worry. We'll come to that. We'll get there. Let's just start by looking at the schedule for Tuesday's games. This is one of those days, which is a standard now for Tuesday. We've got the insane late game, which I love. I love that late game. I don't. It's terrible. But that's okay. The first game of the day, Warriors, Magic. Then we've got Celtics, Nets, Pistons, Hawks, Grizzlies, Spurs. And then we've got a 2.5 hour gap between tip to the, what time is this one? The 10:30 p.m. Eastern, so the 7:30 p.m. Pacific, Utah versus the Lakers, which could be the return for LeBron James. And then we've got the 8 p.m. Pacific game, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trailblazers. So we've got 4 games, time to have a bit of something in the middle, and then we've got 2 more at the end. So like almost the actual definition of what a nightcap is. We're 2 of them. That's how we're doing it, I guess. Let's talk about the first game. Warriors Magic is that first game. Paolo Banchero is going to remain out. John Kuminga is out. D'Anthony Melton will be out. We don't know about Suggsy. Jalen Suggs missed the last game with a groin issue, just copying Paolo Banchero. With Suggs out, we had Mr. Black in the starting lineup, and obviously it meant more to do for other players like Tristan da Silva, who is putting up okay numbers. To me, he's solid. You could use him. He's just a fringy sort of a player without blowing us away. But him and Mr. Black, especially if Suggs is out, they're going to be worth it. You look at Da Silva because there's the 2 opportunities there for him with Paolo out as well. In Golden State with Kuminga out, we're just going to see a similar rotation to what we saw in the last game, I'm guessing. But maybe the foreseeable future has passed. You don't know. I mean, you do. But I think we're okay. The next game up on this schedule of activities is the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta... Oh, no, it's Boston and Brooklyn. I put this one up because there's no injury concerns at this stage. We know that Haywood Highsmith remains out and Jason Tatum's out, but there's no actual statuses of guys who are close to returning or questionable or anything like that, which is not very common. The next one is that game that I talked about, Detroit and Atlanta. There's a lot here in this one. Toby Harris out, Jaden Ivey out, Bobby Clintman out. The Pistons are coming in on a back-to-back, so I'm going to label Cade questionable. We don't know whether Cade is playing on Monday, or whether he's available Tuesday. Asar Thompson, same, questionable Monday. Does he play Tuesday? And then Jalen Duren is probable on Monday. I expect that he plays on Tuesday as well. And then there's the Hawks. Porzingis sat out with knee soreness last game. Zachary Ricochet suffered a big fall in that Sunday game. He's questionable. But then Onyeka Okongwu popped up as questionable. So, I want all of you to turn your gaydar up and be ready for Mohamed, why are you gay? Fine-tune the gaydar, because it might be time. It might be time for you guys to partake in gay action for Tuesday. It also could be a little bit of Ace and Newell. A little bit of Ace and Newell action if Okongwu and Porzingis are both not there. So just watch that. If Ricochet is out, that is more for Vit Krejci. It's more for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, although he's already playing anyway. And it's mainly going to be Krejci who steps into a larger role there. But there's a key bunch of injury things there in that Hawks and Pistons game. The next game is the Memphis Grizzlies and the San Antonio Spurs. And we got 2 updates in this game for injuries that are calf injuries, that are longish or short to intermediate term injuries. We also just got the update, by the way, that Steph Castle will be out after hurting his hip in that last game. So there's a lot for De'Aaron Fox to do because Victor Wembanyama is out. Calf strain, grade 1, 2 to 3 weeks you're looking at. I would always push it towards the 3. And if you haven't known this by now, it should be relatively obvious. He was already close to an ad anyway when Wemby was playing, but it's Luke Kornet. It's not Kelly Olynyk. It's not Jeremy Sochan. It's Luke Kornet. Is there more for other guys to do? Yeah. Devin Vassell will have to do more. Sochan will do more. Vassell, just if he was dropped, this is like no Castle, no Wemby, has to be rostered. There's a little bit more for Champagne to do. But it's Kornet. Kornet is who you want. Now, if the answer, and I've had this question already, do I add Zach Edey or Luke Kornet? Get the guy who might be a 30-minute center for the next 25 weeks. And that's Edey. Whereas Kornet might do it for 3. But you have to grab Kornet. You prioritize him over Olynyk. I wouldn't bother with Olynyk in a 12. I wouldn't bother with Sochan in a 12. He might be a 14-team league guy. Champagne moves to stream territory. Castle out helps Vassell even more. It helps Fox bump up a little bit more as well. And it might give just a little bit of extra juice to some other guys like Jordan McLaughlin maybe. But that's like deep league stuff. On the Memphis side, Cedric Coward, the chicken, he's probable. He had a foot injury last game and played fewer minutes at the start. Was it the foot? I don't know. Olivier Maxence-Prosper is questionable. Doesn't really matter there. But the big one there is Ja Morant, who left the last game with a calf issue. And he is now out for about 2 weeks. So very similar injury, if not literally exactly the same injury, to Victor Wembanyama. The problem is his backup is probably Scottie Pippen, who's injured. And his backup is probably Ty Jerome, who's injured. So your option is Cam Spencer or the guy that started last game, who also sprained his ankle in that game, but he came back and played, and that's Vince Williams Jr. So I would look to add Vince Williams. Now, would I add Williams or Kornet? Kornet. But Williams is worth a look. 100% in 14-team leagues, 175 deep leagues. But I would consider Vince in a 12. Cam Spencer is like a 200 deep player, maybe 175 maybe. And it's a lot of usage to go around. So it can help Jalen Wells. I wouldn't rush to add him. It should help the chicken. It means Jaren Jackson probably goes absolutely crazy and kills you in some of the percentage stuff. But we've got a good blueprint of both of those injuries because we saw last game. Kornet, big rise. Williams, starting role. Jackson, more usage. We see all that stuff. But both of those things are hitting. And then no Castle as well is frustrating because I can't really get a handle on what Castle is. First games with Fox back, he dominated. Fox looked useless. Castle was putting up all the assist numbers. And then the next game and a half, Castle was the one that took the step back and didn't do anything. So I don't really know how they're going to work it. And we're definitely not finding out now, are we? So that's where we're at with that one. Let's go into the last 2 games. Got the late ones, as I mentioned already. Just checking if there's any news updates coming through. Not just yet. Jazz Lakers, George Niang's out. Kyle Anderson questionable. Hendricks questionable. But LeBron is the big one there. That's going to have an impact on guys like Marcus Smart, who is probable. Gabe Vincent's even been upgraded to questionable here. It's going to have an impact on the Mpitsu. Rui Hachimura, who absolutely is not a 12-team league guy. The Lakers just don't play it all over the next 10 days. There's two games, I think 3 games over the next 10 days, and he's not good enough, so you don't hold him. I wouldn't bother holding Marcus Smart. LeBron will be limited. You wouldn't hold Jake LaRavia. But you're getting some reinforcements back here. So those LaRavias and Smarts that were filling in, even 30 minutes of Dalton Connect last game, it's all going away. So I don't have to worry too much about those players in most spots. The last game of the day is that late game. Like I said, it is Phoenix, who have been really good. They're going to Portland. Scoot will be out. We don't know about Drew Holiday, who missed the last game with a calf injury, shockingly enough. And then Grayson Allen is questionable too. Now, with Grayson out, Colin Gillespie up into really good value. Jordan Goodwin, solid stream value. Ryan Dunn moves into stream territory. If Allen plays, Gillespie is a fringe guy. Dunn is not a 12-team league guy. Goodwin is like a 14-team league guy. With Holiday out, Jeremy Grant is up. You might look at deeper leagues of Chris Murray, as we saw that they play him because they have literally, and I mean this, like literally no point guards. None. Not a single one, unless you count Caleb Love as a point guard, and you should not. They don't have a single point guard. So You're going to get a lot of Denny Avdia, Shaden Sharp taking a million shots like we saw last game as well. We'll come back and go through ways to manipulate the schedule and streams of the day as well. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Rippling. If you're a business owner, I got a little secret. It's the truth for you. SaaS, it promised to make work easier. But now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS. That is SAD, software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place, helping millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. It removes the bottlenecks and the busy work that can slow down teams and reduce productivity. It's simple to use, giving you and your company one source of data for the people and everything that they touch. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnba. That is rippling.com/lockedonnba. That is rippling.com/lockedonnba for 6 months free. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks, and we make decisions every day. But on Prize Picks, when you make the decisions, if you get it right, you get paid. It helps when you know what you're talking about in a sport, which you guys do, watching the NBA. And there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. You pick more or less on individual player stats, at least 2 of them. And if you get them right, you win. You can get a lineup in under 60 seconds if you want. I suggest a little bit more effort, but you can do it if you're in a rush. Put it out there, and you can play Prize Picks wherever it operates. Georgia, Texas, and even California. You can pick your favorite players. You can pick the ones in advantageous situations. You can even do the player stacks now. So you're using multiple stats from one player in a single lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Doesn't even have to win. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. We're talking preview here for the games on Tuesday. There are 6 games on. So we're talking about what the schedule looks like. We're talking now about the way the schedule can look as we move forward, or does look as we move forward. So let's try and hack into this schedule and see what ways that we can take advantage by getting multiple games for minimal ads. That is the key to all of this stuff. There's only one team that comes into Tuesday on a back-to-back. That's the Pistons. So is it possible that Cade plays only one of the 2? Yes. Denise Jenkins is the guy that we are very much watching. I don't think Harris or Ivy are returning, although they could be back later this week. But the Pistons have a really weird schedule with 2 games early, then nothing for a long time towards the end of the week. So if you're going to try a Denise Jenkins or a Paul Reed, you have them for the back-to-back, and then then you move on because other guys might be back and it's just too big of a gap. But there's interest in that. And then we have the 2 teams that play Tuesday and Wednesday. Remembering, we can stream every day this week. So you've got the Blazers. So maybe in a deep league it is Chris Murray. Maybe you feel like Rob Williams, but you won't because he's not going to play the back-to-back. For the Warriors, if you want to get in and ride Moses Moody, you do it now. If you're in a deeper league, you look at Will Richard. There's Brandon Pajemski. Does anyone sit on a back-to-back? Jimmy, Steph? I don't think so, except for Al Horford, of course. But we can look at how they want to run this, but that's the 2 teams to target if you're doing the Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-back stream. What about for chunks? What about the next 5 days? You want to preserve your moves. You don't have 4 moves. How can you get more games over the next 5 days? Well, it's by attacking these blokes who are all over 70% available. By the way, if Luke Kornet is available, you just add him. Doesn't have 3 games, but you add him. Brandon Williams, it's going to be up and down. Absolutely, because it's Jason Kidd, right? It's going to be up and down. But we saw that 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been the guy over D'Angelo Russell. That's a good enough ratio to me to have him. And 3 games in 5 nights we love. Moses Moody, they got the back-to-back, plus 3 games in 5 nights. So you roll with it. There'll be nights where he shoots unbelievably well. There'll be nights where he doesn't. What I like the most about Moody at the moment is the defensive uptick. The Blizzard, Derek Queen. Still don't really know what they're going to do with him and Zion together, and we don't know if Zion's going to play, but 3 games, 5 nights, starting center, let's do it. No Ja Morant, so Vince Williams Jr., 3 games, 5 nights, and then, yes, Malik Monk has been dropped in this many leagues, and I totally understand why. But there is so much up and down. He went from 15 minutes to 28 minutes last game or something stupid like that, and it could revert easily. But again, volume helps. It helps alleviate the nonsense. So you might get a bad game, you might get 2 good ones. So Malik Monk's on there, and the Kings obviously having 3 games in 5 nights, which is bad for your eyeballs, but it is good for maybe trying to get some numbers in. And we've also heard the update by the Kings, by the way, about Keegan Murray. A lot of questions. Do we go and rush to add Keegan Murray? Keegan Murray is an interesting player in that he will almost sit there with like 12% usage. He'll do nothing. His shooting has gone down every season. They don't empower him to do anything. And on a team that has Sabonis, Levine, DeRozan, Schroeder, Westbrook, and Monk, when will he ever shoot? When will he touch it? Now, you could add Murray and go, well, surely this team is so bad that they will blow it up and they'll trade away 3 of these guys and the ball will be in Murray's hands. But I'll sit here and tell you, if you're banking on that, you're probably going to be wrong. Maybe it happens, but how easy do you think it is to trade away Zach LaVine? How easy do you think it is to just jettison DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis? Are you getting anything back for him? And is Keegan Murray the guy that is going to be the number one guy? Because I haven't ever seen it. When you add multiple if-or scenarios into your decision-making, there's just by the laws of like probability and stuff, the mathematical term, there's more ways it can go wrong. If you have to have a decision of, well, if this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and they're all, say, 50-50s, well, you got a 12% chance of it all coming out your way. Every variable that gets added in, the chances of them all clicking make it lower. 12.5% chance, I think, to be exact, if I remember my high school probabilities. So, I generally just tend to look at things like what is happening in the here and now, and what Murray might be useful. Like, what is he actually going to offer to your team? So yes, like, fine to add him, but just be very cautious. Like, again, I'll bring the name up. Like, do I drop Zach Edey for him? Like, no way. Not in a million years. When does he ever get the ball? That's the question. And the answer is, it doesn't look good. Let's take a look at the next 7 days. Is there anyone with a great schedule and everyone with a bad schedule? Yes. Over the next 7 days, between Tuesday and Monday, the Trailblazers play 5 times. So if you're going, look, Tamani Kamara, Donovan McClingan, they're not doing anything. That's okay. Hold them. 5 games in 7 nights. Oh, Jeremy Grant, is he moving to a drop? Well, for a couple of reasons. Drew Holiday, we don't know. And 5 games in 7 nights, you hold. Could I use Chris Murray in a deeper format? 5 games in 7 nights? Maybe. It's worth it. And then on the Lakers side, they play twice. We know they got like one of the worst schedule stretches you will ever see. So Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia. I want to do it again because I like it and I've got 2 sounds to use. The M-Pizza. Rui Hachimura. There's no point holding these guys in 150 deep leagues. They're just not going to play and they're not good enough. Reeves, Doncic, LeBron, Ayton. Yes, Ayton. Hold. The others, see you later. We'll come back and we'll do streams of the day, coming up in a sec. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, but not just on game day, every day. You lock in on every opening. You beat your PR, then you beat it again. You channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. You trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. And you can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools. Or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, so expect more from your money. Get started today at robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that is robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. Today's episode is also brought to you by Ruji. Don't make excuses. No one wants to hear them. You don't want to hear them. You're just lying to yourself. Things happen. Yeah, it's true. Stress. You get tired. Happens to everyone sometimes. All that is true. But focus on a solution. Sometimes your body just needs the little bit of extra support. That's where Ruji comes in. Ruji.com offers fast-acting doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Ruji makes it easy to get started. You connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. And if you get the medicine prescribed, your treatment ships directly straight to your door. The process is fast, it's simple, it's private, it works, and it is handled by real doctors. So go to rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That is rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA. Don't forget to use the code LockedOnNBA so that they know that we really care about your ED and getting it solved, and they know that we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. Let's talk streaming. Who are the streams of the day? and who are some other stream options that we can look at who aren't the streams of the day. We will start with the streams of the day. The 10-team stream of the day, it's Luke Kornet. Like, you add Luke Kornet, and you hold Luke Kornet, and you cherish Luke Kornet, and then you see where it goes. The 12-team stream of the day. This one is more in a, hey, I don't care that the guy's low usage, I'm streaming it for some rebounds and defensive stats, but Geordie Walsh. Now, I don't, and you shouldn't, have any confidence in the role or the playing time sticking. But I have a level of confidence in it sticking for Tuesday. Now, he might start off terribly, get benched, and we get Ugo Gonzalez reanimated and out there, or Baylor Shireman, or Josh Minot, or Chris Boucher, or whatever they want to do. That's what Sneaky Joe does. But Walsh has played well. The defensive stats are very high, and I'm not sure they hold at that number, but that's okay. 14-team, which you could easily put into 12-team cat. But Vince Williams is available everywhere. I think he's going to be the starting point guard. We'll see. No update has come through on that ankle injury. Again, he played through it. If he is out, then it's Cam Spencer. And then for deep leagues, it's a former Memphis Grizzly for 16-team plus. We're looking at Zaire Williams, who's had 2 big ones in a row. Now, I don't know about you, but won't do that, Joe. Zaire Williams' last 2 games have been fantastic. The game before, one of the worst games you'll ever see. He has, I feel like there is a small level of trust, but I don't feel super good about it. And there's a million players on that Nets team you could try to cycle through, but at least the last couple, we're rolling with a solid foundation. For Yahoo points and ESPN points, by the way, Luke Kornet, but projected slightly higher for Tuesday for Yahoo is Isaiah Stewart. And for ESPN, this man is still 80% available. Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, he's not going to score very many points, but I think we've got the idea over the last 10 days or so. He will get rebounds, some assists, some steals, and some blocks. He's doing quite a bit. And yeah, still just sort of sitting there, fluffing around. 10-team guys. We're starting with Kornet. We've got Geordie Walsh. We've got Terrence Mann, which is just, I hate it. I hate putting Terrence Mann there. He's one of those guys where I'm never expecting anything big. But I feel a level of consistency in playing time, which for some of you might be what you want. You don't want to take a flyer on someone who might get 6 fouls in 10 minutes, or someone who might go 0 of 10, Zaire Williams, or they might pop off. Maybe you want a consistent 10, 4, and 3 with a steal. Maybe that's what you want. And it's Terrence Mann. Vince Williams is there, and Zaire Williams is there as well. All of those guys are absolutely worth looking at as stream guys, and of course Kornet and Williams to an extent is in a different category. For 12s, just look at those first 5 names, and then come back to this list. Day'Ron Sharpe. Now, Ryan Dunn will jump up the list if we see Grayson Allen's out. Restore Black will also jump up the list if Jalen Suggs is out. He's there too. The Blue Jean baby, Yegor Dioman, who's been absolutely dreadful. And someone said to me, don't ever say that he's improving again because he's been trash. I apologize to you because you're right. I said, man, I look at every little game, there's something improving. And then I've never seen like a decline as bad as that. And he has been trash the last 2 games. But I guess he's starting, like roll it maybe, but bloody hell, confidence shaken. And the last one there is Jeremy Sochan. Now, saying Jeremy Sochan is a 12-team stream, I believe is accurate. That doesn't mean that you have to grab him and hold him in 12-team leagues, because I don't think he will have enough ongoing value in that format. But for Tuesday with 6 games on, absolutely. For deeper leagues, who do we stream in that particular scenario? Well, Goga Badadze, Kelly Olynyk. Yes, again, like Sochan, Olynyk might get 15 minutes, but I don't think he's playing 30 or 25 or 20. It's deep league stuff. Cam Spencer. You could move him higher if Vince Williams is out. Well, you definitely would if Vince Williams is out. Javon Small also injured there, by the way. And I don't know if it's coincidental, but their 59th overall pick, Jemai Mashak, who they drafted and never signed, he signed yesterday. He's like a defensive-minded guard. Was that because they knew something about either Javon Small's toe injury or Ja's calf? Just watch that. Rob Williams is on the Deep League stream list for Portland, and Tyrese Martin, who could easily jump ahead. He was very good last game, but he is very inconsistent. Yahoo Point Streaming. Where do we go? Stewart, Kornet, Moody Muzi, Noah Clowney, and of course, the one that I hate to see on that list is Terrence Mann. And ESPN points, we'll throw Kornet in there. Nurkic, Cater, Isaiah Stewart, and Zach Edey. Zach Edey, I say that because he is 30% rostered. Guys, I'm using 30 as a cutoff. Edey is a must roster player. I don't know what the hesitation is here. Add him, please. And that is your daily look ahead for Tuesday with 6 games on, including an incredibly late one. Now you, in the meantime, you can do it now. You can do it while you're waiting for those late games to tip off tomorrow, but you can subscribe to the show. You can leave your comments down below. You can tell me all about your experiences with Rugiet. No, you don't have to do that. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.